Welcome to my YouTube room. Right now it's completely empty except for this chair and like some boxes, but in the future I hope to outfit it and make it into somewhere where I could record videos, do a little bit more face cam, and develop that parasocial relationship. I watch a lot of Quiet Cool Kid, no doubt, and I see that she does a lot of 5 Fact Fridays. And it got me thinking about all of those Neomails I have sitting in my Neomail inbox and how I could kind of tackle 2 birds with 1 stone and answer some questions, talk about Neopets a little bit, and make a video because that's what this is all about, right? The first question is from Team Rocket Professor all the way back in September. Apologies, I do not check my Neomail that often. Sometimes I'll read like individual Neomails, but usually I delete notifications and move on. Do you have any knowledge about Keyquest coming back or when Neopets will get some attention again? When NetDragon purchased Neopets, I had a lot of faith that we would see Keyquest come back almost immediately. However, it's almost been a year and that has not happened. I do not have high hopes for Keyquest. It could happen, but I don't see it on my radar. I would not recommend that you put a lot of stock in it. When will Neopets get some attention again? So if you're talking about deliberate advertising campaigns, I don't think the budget is there. Like, I don't think their marketing team is the same as it was back maybe in the Viacom days. Viacom is largely an advertising giant, right? Like, I work in advertising, I work in digital marketing, and you know, I know a lot of people who have made the jump to Viacom. It was like a block from my office, and I just don't see there being that push internally from Neopets to do that type of advertising at this point. However, Neopets is quite regularly in the news. I know this because I get video view boosts whenever a story is circulating, and it is quite regularly. Like every few months you're gonna see a Neopets news story, or in my instance a subscriber boost just from existing and making Neopets content while a story hits. So every few months it's pretty much getting attention. Still, it's a major cultural touch point. The next question is from King Crocus, all the way back in December. Sorry, if you don't mind answering, what's your favorite species of Neopet? Mine is the Bory. Nice choice. I remember when Bories came out. I'm sure you do too. Okay, like it wasn't that long ago, Grandma. So I really enjoyed the ice Bories when that was a thing. I think that could have been handled a little bit more elegantly. But my favorite Neopet. So at this point in my life, Kachik. I love Kachiks. But if we're gonna do like a historical path, like through like my entire life, when I was really little, my first Neopets plushie was the McDonald's Shadow Aisha. I have her, she's in my bedroom. She's moved with me basically everywhere I've gone. I love Aisha, so that's what I call her. That's what I call the stuffed animal. Her name is Aisha. So the black Aisha, Shadow Aisha. And then when I was in high school, I went through a huge Uzel phase. Like grade school through high school, I was all about Uzels. I had 2 Yuzuki Uzels, a Yuzuki girl, a Yuzuki boy, and they were my OCs, they were my main characters. Like, I really strongly identified with Uzels. And now, as an adult, I say Kachiks, but I also really liked Ixies for a while. You know, I like all Neopets, except for Ogrins. JJD Peven says, I was wondering, what do you use because you could just click all the dailies and not miss a thing of the dailies, etc. I think the question here is, how do I do my dailies? And so there is a web page that I use that I was linked to by a viewer. I don't know why they put it together, but at the end of the day, it's just a repository of links to various dailies, and they're categorized, and that's all I need. So that's what I use when I do dailies. I don't like dailies. I don't do dailies. I hardly go, I'm on a Neopets hiatus right now, but when I do go on Neopets, dailies are not something I prioritize unless I'm like on an avatar kick or like I actively have a goal that's related to a daily. I tend to stay away from dailies. related to that, Pontifex says, what's the thing that still keeps you going on Neopets? So what I always try to say in my videos is that it's important to have goals. And this is like my thing. Like, I have goals on Neopets, I have goals on Flight Rising, I have goals on Leiden, because I've found that if I'm just relying on like my internal interest, that it's possible that it will wane, I will get bored of the game, I will move on, and I just won't have a draw to the game. So my goals are what keeps me interested on Neopets. Like, I have to have a direction. And you know, right now it's giving up my worldly possessions and documenting the process from being broke to being dank cash money wealthy on Neopets. From Mr. Lazybones. Hi, also known as Mike. I'm not sure if you've mentioned it in one of your videos, but you should do something on restocking in shops. It's probably the best way to make Neopoints. And I 100% agree, it's probably one of the best way to make Neopoints. However, I acknowledge that I'm not an expert in everything, and not everything interests me. And when I've spoken about restocking in passing, you're right, I've not made a video on restocking, it's because I'm not interested in it. And like, if I wanted to just like put a nail in the coffin, I could just make a video where I acknowledge that I'm not covering it because I'm not interested in it, but I also don't want to make a non-video. But if I just made a video about restocking, I would never hear the end of how I'm wrong about how my method is, because it's very popular on Neopets and it's very contentious, and I would be doing a very beginner level introduction to it. And so it's kind of a topic that I want to stay away from because I don't do it, because I don't find it interesting, and because it's very deep. So that's why I have not made a video about restocking. But yes, it probably is the best way to make Neopoints. That's what I've heard, and I believe it. You know, it's just not for me. On that same note about not being an expert in everything, so this is from Amazon Leopard, who thanked me for the Food Club video. However, I wish you had given a warning about how many Neopoints you should have before starting. I lost 200k on my first attempts and had to sell items to keep going. One Food Club bettor told me you should have enough Neopoints for 1 week of betting before you start. In that video, I tried to be very upfront with the fact that it's gambling and that I just read basic level guides and follow what those guides say. I am not an expert on anything Neopets related. I am not an expert. I'm just a person who makes videos and gets paid for them. Hallelujah. I'm sorry. Part of not knowing about something is that you can't warn someone about something you don't know about. And so the nuance of Food Club bets puts you in a position where every account is going to pay a different amount depending on how old that account is. So it's hard for me to be like, it's going to cost X amount when every account pays a different amount. This tip about having enough for 1 week, I didn't know that. And I tend to have a large reserve of Neopoints to play with, or making Neopoints is not really a concern of mine because like I feel like I'm pretty good at making enough Neopoints every day for me to do Food Club bets and the things that I value, that it doesn't faze me, or it doesn't even occur to me that I should warn people how many Neopoints they need to do something, because for me, I just have a different relationship with the concept of making Neopoints. So I'm sorry if I did not express that I'm very beginner level at Food Club bets and that it is gambling. However, that being said, it is probably one of the best ways I know of to make Neopoints. And yes, that's my stance on Food Club bets. Sorry about that. From Aniki, which reminds me a lot of Kaniki, which I always thought was like an interesting name. How do you end up with that nickname, Kaniki? Anyways, I don't understand from one of your videos. You had your Neopoints given away so you could get the Suit Fairy avatar. Accurate, did that, yes. How were you able to gain back the 6 to 10 million Neopoints so quickly? Do you already have expensive items in store which allowed you to gain back the Neopoints? Okay, so I'm going to divide this into the 2 different questions. So yes, I did get rid of all my Neopoints for the Suit Fairy avatar. I believe in that video I cut my content, and so that there's like almost like 2 different things happening in the video, right? Like I'm presenting the narrative of me relinquishing my Neopoints and then getting the avatar. And then after that is completed, I believe I also just put in footage that I had already recorded. And because I had already recorded that footage, it's not chronological. Right now I'm at 1.6 million Neopoints. And so after I did that, or the way I presented it may have made it seem like I immediately got back up to the same amount of Neopoints, but I assure you that I am at 1.6 million Neopoints right now. Sometimes when I'm making a video, I will get through the very structured part of it, like that follows a direct timeline and chronology, and it's important to structure it just right. And then I'll realize, okay, now that part of the video is over, I need to put in some footage, so there's something occupying the visual space for the rest of this video. And in that situation, I will use footage that I recorded for an earlier part of the video. So things are not always in chronological order, and I try to not misrepresent or like hide information in this way. It's more like it's just the way that it worked out, that it appeared as though I immediately bounced back up to that amount of Neopoints. Also in that question is the concept of, do I have expensive items stocked up? And yes, I do have expensive stuff stocked up. People send me expensive stuff, but also on neopets.com, you just get expensive stuff from just hanging out on the website. So like I do have expensive things, and sometimes I just auction them. And neo-friend only auction, you know, I make the bank and I have Neopoints. Right now I am trying to get rid of the Neopoints, and then one day I'll show that process of going from nearly nothing to millions of Neopoints. Like that's the goal. That's the journey I am on. Any tips or advice that you can provide to gain Neopoints faster or more efficiently? Food club bets, stock market, battle dome, whatever keeps you interested. The question of efficiency is really interesting to me because Neopets is an option, right? Like you don't have to participate in Neopets. And so to me, what is efficient is what keeps you coming back. Like I just have to be realistic that like when things are happening in my life, I de-escalate Neopets. Like other things are much more important to me. My job, my family, my friends, going outside today, I did that. Or like flight rising, you know, like so if you want to make Neopoints, the most efficient strategy is the strategy that keeps you interested. And then food club bets and stock market. Trial and error, restocking. You're the only one who can know which is the right way for you. Like there's a million ways to skin a cat. I'm not skinning any cats. It's a metaphor, okay? So from Raw Rear on the YouTube channel, did you ever participate in a random contest / win a random contest? So when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, not that young, you know, like a random contest hasn't been around forever, okay? I did enter the random contest and I did win the avatar. It was on a previous account, so I don't have the avatar anymore, nor do I have the entry. However, yes, I've entered and I've won before, and I haven't in a long time, you know? It's a thing that now that it's back, that I might do. I'll let you know. And then here we go, the last one is from Puka. If you could give me a shout out, that would be awesome, but then again, I don't want to sound like a beggar. So this was from December 22nd, 2017. Happy late Christmas. Hi Kip and Chevy. So I appreciate the kind messages that everyone sends me. Like I said, if you do want a response, YouTube is the way to do that. So I responded to these Neomails just because some of them had questions in it. It's really reassuring to read messages, especially because, like I said, I've been going through a bit of a rough time lately. Whatever, we all do, okay? It doesn't help anyone for me to pretend like I'm not. I am doing quite well at the moment, as you could tell. I'm making a video today, so like I'm doing okay. But at the same time, like I feel like it sets an unrealistic expectation if I do not acknowledge that sometimes things are not okay. You guys don't need to hear the nitty gritty. I'm alive, making a video today, so doing pretty well. But when I get into like a mood or whatever, the first thing that tends to go is like games, and then YouTube channel, and then other parts of my life start getting affected. But by cutting those two things out, games and YouTube channel, I'm able to focus more on everything else. So I have a lot going on. We all do. We all have a lot going on. I'm not special. What I'm trying to say is if you're trying to get in contact with me, YouTube comments are the best way. And I try to stay on top of them. I do not recommend that if you're trying to express something pressing to me that you do it on a game. I read these Neopets comments because I had questions in them and I cleaned out my inbox today, but like YouTube comments, please. Now, next week, I want to do a general question and answer. So this was about Neopets, and I picked questions about Neopets mainly from Neopets. But if you want to know like general stuff like about me, like what did you study in college? What's your opinion on politics? Sure, I'll talk about politics, whatever. Or like my smartphone. I have very strong opinions about smartphones. Prefer questions about smartphones to questions about politics. I'm game for anything though. I go ahead and respond to my Twitter tweet asking for questions. I hope you guys liked this video. I'm doing what I can to get back into the game. I've been going through stuff. If you watched my last video or last two videos, you might be able to feel the vibe. But I'm here, I'm trying, and I'm doing. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions or comments. That's my 7,500 subscriber celebration video. I haven't done one of those in probably over a year. But yeah, let me know what kind of questions you have, and I will see you guys on the other side of this weekend. Bye!